I was gonna watch Wuthering Heights this weekend because it was supposedly released in Japan on the 27th, so it's already March 1st. And while I'm not particularly excited about this rendition of Wuthering Heights, I do like the visual direction that they took with the costumes and everything, so I wanted to go, if only just to see the fashion. And I'm particularly interested in this PVC dress that Margot Robbie has on in one of the scenes. I'm not a Wuthering Heights purist or anything. Like, I know what the story is about. I think I vaguely remember reading it in English lit in high school, so I know the story, and I know that like there's a lot of people that are upset with the fanfic style of the new rendition by Emerald Fennell, is that her name? And people are saying that Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi have zero chemistry, which I kind of have to agree. Although I do love Margot Robbie still, regardless. I think like I'll enjoy watching her, not particularly because she's portraying Catherine, but just because I like her. But yeah, I feel like, you know, people are saying it's too sexual, it's too focused on like sex and BDSM and stuff. To me, I feel like it's just a sign of the times, you know, like why wouldn't they make it all about sex if that's what sells in this day and age? I mean, think about how short people's attention spans are these days, but think about the one style of visual media that still manages to capture people's interest and keep them watching for a long period of time. What is that? Pornographic material. So it is what it is. Of course, they're going to have to make like a mainstream, borderline pornographic interpretation of Wuthering Heights, because what else is going to keep the viewer's interest? That's the bottom line, right? They need to make back whatever amount that they invested on the production. So I don't really mind, and I'm not surprised about that aspect. I just don't really like what I've heard about the opening scene. Okay, so like spoilers for those of you who haven't seen it. If you want to see it, you can skip ahead. And again, I haven't seen the movie either. This is just what I've heard from other people's recounts. But basically it opens with a scene of a public execution, and like the guy who's being hung, his thing is sticking up, if you know what I mean. And I guess, I don't know if he's aroused or it's just a natural reaction that's happening during the, you know, unaliving. But yeah, back in those days, it was a public spectacle, right? People used to gather out in the town square to watch that, including children. And it just becomes essentially like a big orgy, or everyone, you know, people in the audience start getting turned on and making out and stuff. So like I kind of get, again, it really fits in with the whole nothing sells except for the most shock factor pornographic interpretation that you can come up with. Not that that's an excuse or anything. I'm just saying, like, to me, it's not surprising that they would go this route. But yeah, I feel like the opening scene though, it's a little bit, I don't know, it just sounds overly gratuitous to me at this point, because I'm like, why is that necessary to go through that? I understand if you want Heathcliff and Kathy and even what's that girl's name, the one that Heathcliff eventually married, Isabella. Like, I understand if you wanted to make them engage in some sort of BDSM relationship, or have Isabella be into like collar play, etc., that kind of stuff, fine. You know, it's been done before. It's not a surprise that someone would want to 50 Shades of Grey-ify Wuthering Heights as well, because it's going to be guaranteed eyeballs on the film. But yeah, when I heard about the opening scene though, I was really kind of turned off. Like, I don't want to see that. And what's the point of that, you know, except for just to, I mean, I know what the point is. It's to introduce immediately like the shock factor of this movie, and to, I guess maybe in a way you could say that it kind of warns the audience straight away from the first scene to not expect anything, to not expect an adaptation that's going to be true to the source material, right? Like, maybe that's the director's way of just killing any Wuthering Heights purists' hopes and dreams right there on the spot. Like, hey, this is a smut movie, okay, so don't get your hopes up, like, don't get it twisted, don't come in here expecting anything, any sort of high art interpretation of the book. Maybe that's her way of sending that message from the get-go, from the very first opening scene. But it doesn't change the fact that it's like very vulgar and unnecessary and gratuitous, in my opinion. And I just in my personal opinion, nobody wants to see that, okay? And I don't want to see it either. So I'm bracing myself for that first scene. But I feel like if I can just get through the first scene, whatever, I'll be able to stomach the rest because it's essentially just going to be like Margot Robbie and Jason Elordi being emo, cosplaying as emo 20-something-year-olds in the Regency era or whenever Wuthering Heights takes place. No, I think Wuthering Heights is way more recent than like Bridgerton or something, but still. It's a period drama at the end of the day, right? Like a gothic period dark romance. So, okay.